What's going on, plugins? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm going to talk about what happened to Amani Bates and how good he would be at Eastern Michigan. Before we get into this video, make sure you drop a like, and if you're new here, sub to the channel and become a part of the family. Now let's get into the video. Amani Bates is one of the most hyped prospects ever coming out of high school. He was being compared to NBA players like LeBron James and Kevin Durant. Amani Bates was a box office type of player when he was in high school. Amani Bates was on the cover of Sports Illustrated at 15 years old. LeBron James wasn't on the cover of Sports Illustrated till he was 17 years old. So that speaks volumes to how talented Amani Bates was coming out of high school. So what happened to Amani Bates and how did he get to this point? He was supposed to be the next Kevin Durant and be a future #1 pick in the NBA draft, but things have quickly changed. Let's take a deep dive into Amani Bates and how his basketball career has gotten to this point. When Amani Bates was only 13 years old, he was already around 6'7", and he was already being compared to KD because how he was built and his play style. He was a skinny, tall player who can score anywhere on the court. When he was a freshman in high school, he was averaging over 30 points per game, won a state title, and won Michigan Gatorade Player of the Year. When he was a sophomore, the hype around Amani Bates was at an all-time high. He turned into a superstar. The way he was playing with his elite ball handling skills, being able to get his shot off whenever he wanted, his entire skill set was way better than his competition. And he won National Gatorade Player of the Year. He's the only sophomore ever to win this award. He had so much hype at this point, and he was living up to the hype. When he was playing at Lincoln, he was winning all these awards and having crazy scoring nights. He was the hottest thing in town. Everyone at Michigan wanted to see Amani Bates play. At this point, he was already on the cover of Sports Illustrated, and the media already looked at him as a generational talent, and NBA scouts are already saying he was the future of the NBA while he was still in high school, plugins. So as a sophomore in high school, he already accomplished a lot. But did Amani Bates let the success and accolades go to his head at a young age? Having all that pressure being called the next KD and LeBron is some big shoes to fill. Y'all feel what I'm saying, plugins? But stay tuned to the end of the video for my opinion on that. This is where I believe things started to go downhill for Amani Bates. Amani Bates left Lincoln after his sophomore season, and his father created a prep school called Yipsy Prep, which I believe was a bad idea and stunted his growth as a basketball player. They built the prep school team around Amani Bates, making him the centerpiece of it, and he was being coached by a summer ball coach. So everything was catered to Amani Bates. He could basically do whatever he wanted because the team was made for him to be the star. So instead of going to a prep school where we playing with great teammates that's on his level that will make him a great basketball player and being coached by someone who will make sure he reaches his full potential, his dad just decided to make his own prep school and make Amani Bates the centerpiece of it. Yipsy Prep did play against good competition, but Amani Bates should just went to a prep school like Oak Hill or Mount Verta, which are powerhouse programs that turn high school prospects into future NBA stars. He also made a huge mistake reclassifying and skipping his senior year. He should have never did that. High school basketball seemed way too easy for Amani Bates, but he physically wasn't ready for college basketball. He should have stayed in high school during his senior year and got stronger. When he got to Memphis, we all quickly realized he wasn't ready for college basketball, but before Amani Bates started the season with Memphis, things weren't looking good. The first red flag was his measurements. His hands were too small and his wingspan was only 6'7", and that's horrible when you're 6'9". Most people were shocked that his wingspan was that short. I was even shocked that it was that short. And to make things worse, his vertical was only 24 inches, so this might be the worst measurements for a top high school prospect ever. So Memphis fans and NBA scouts didn't hit the panic button at this point because Amani Bates was really talented and most people thought this wouldn't matter in the end. And then his freshman season started and everyone realized this might be a disaster waiting to happen. He only averaged 9 points per game. He had a back injury that made him miss majority of the season, and Memphis was losing a lot of games before he had the back injury. But while he was injured, Memphis was looking like one of the best teams in the country, and they barely lost any games, and they made the March Madness tournament. And I give Amani Bates a lot of credit. He could have packed it up for the season, but he came back from injury and played during the March Madness tournament. It looked like Memphis didn't even need Amani Bates to win, which is honestly crazy when you look back at it, because you would assume Memphis would need a player as talented as Amani Bates to win. So after the bad season Amani Bates had, he decided to leave Memphis and transfer to a new college. But it's a report out there claiming that Amani Bates was kicked off the team because he told recruits not to go to Memphis and play for Penny Hardaway. I don't know if this is 100% true, but the person who tweeted it is a journalist. But it was already a bunch of negative reports coming out of Memphis once he decided to transfer, so this could be true. But anyways, I do think Memphis wasn't the right fit for his skill set. Also, I felt like Penny Hardaway was forced to play Amani Bates because he was the best recruit in the country, so it's no way Penny Hardaway could sit him for a year. He had to play him even though he wasn't ready. Now moving on to him transferring to Eastern Michigan. I was shocked by his decision. He had Louisville and Michigan on his list of schools. I really thought he was going to go to Louisville since Kenny Payne was hired as the head coach. But it was rumored a lot of Power 5 colleges didn't want him, and his only option was going to Eastern Michigan. If I was a coach at a Power 5 college, I'm taking a chance on Amani Bates. He's a very talented player with a lot of potential. He just had a bad year. After Amani Bates' sophomore season, he will be eligible for the NBA draft. He really needs to lock in if he wants to be a first-round pick. He's not even projected to be a first-round pick, and most mock drafts have him as a second-round pick. And this is not a good sign for him because coming out of high school, NBA scouts said he was going to be a first overall pick when he's eligible for the NBA draft. He's not playing at a top D1 program. He won't be playing against high-level competition, so if he struggles at Eastern Michigan, it could really go downhill for him. He needs to show NBA scouts he's still a bucket and capable of scoring the ball like he did in high school. I'm going to say he needs to average around 20 points per game. If he can do that, it will boost his draft stock and he could potentially be a lottery pick. But if he struggles, he will be a second-round pick or could end up being undrafted. Amani Bates will be teamed up with Noah Farrakhan. That could be a nice backcourt, so Amani will have a nice teammate to play with at Eastern Michigan. Noah averaged 16.6 points this past season, which is solid. But plugins, how well do you think Amani Bates would do at Eastern Michigan? Do y'all think he's going to go crazy during his sophomore season, or will he have another bad season? Let me know y'all opinions in the comments. Before I wrap up this video, let's talk about did the fame and accolades go to Amani Bates' head at a young age. And honestly, the media put a lot of pressure on Amani Bates. He was already being compared to KD and LeBron James at a young age. Being compared to players like that could put a lot of pressure on a young kid. Like, imagine being a hooper and everywhere you go, fans and media are saying you're going to be the next KD, and as soon as you don't live up to the hype, you're looked at as a failure or a bust because people put these crazy expectations on you. Some athletes crack under pressure and some athletes thrive under pressure. Amani Bates is a hard worker and he's always in the gym trying to get better and be the best basketball player he can be. But during his freshman season at Memphis, maybe the pressure was too big for him and that's why he struggled. But he was only 17 years old and he should have still been in high school. Now he has a second chance at Eastern Michigan to prove the haters and doubters wrong that he's still that guy from high school. So I hope he has a great sophomore season. He's getting a fresh start, so he should be fine. He's been putting in a lot of work this offseason. He's been in the weight room getting stronger, and he's been in the gym working on his craft. So he knows his sophomore season is a big year for him, and I think he's going to go out there and prove the haters and doubters wrong. That's it for this video, plugins. If you made it this far, make sure you drop a like on the video and sub to the channel. Do you think Amani Bates will bounce back and have a good sophomore season, or do you think you have a bad season? Also, do you think you'll be a first-round pick or a second-round pick? Drop your opinions in the comments. Make sure you turn on post notifications so you know when I post. I'm dropping bangers all summer for y'all. I appreciate y'all, and I'll see you in the next video. Till next time.